Hi everyone in YouTube land, this is Jackie and I hope you like and subscribe to my channel. Tonight we're going to cook Chinese plum chicken, and it's going to be a little bit different from the recipe that I found online, but I'm going to give you the gist of it right here. We're going to turn the stove on and get this going, warm this up a little bit, and the main difference that I am doing is the recipe calls for broccoli, and I don't have any broccoli on hand, so I do have the chopped cauliflower bits, and I also have a bag of chopped purple cabbage. I figured, why not? We like cabbage, it's all good. So we're going to give that a try. Let's see. Okay. Now, what we're going to do first is I have one very large onion here that I just sliced up. And you're going to cook that for a little bit until the onions sweat. And let's see. Yeah, you want the onions to sweat and cook down just a little bit before we do anything. So I'm going to turn the heat up a little more. No. Joe's holding the camera. Say hi, Joe.
Hi, Joe.
No, Joe. Jeepers creepers. Figures. Anyways, so what I have there is one large onion. The recipe called for 2 onions, but I figured this is plenty between the two of us. And it's a very strong onion, too. It's a yellow Spanish onion. Yep. And then I also have... If you want to come over here a little bit. This is 2 chicken breasts chopped up. I have a tablespoon of ginger, ground ginger on top. This is, the recipe called for 10 plums. I probably have close to a cup of chopped, quartered plums. And then I have the cauliflower and the red cabbage, my seasonings, which consist of a half a teaspoon of turmeric and a half a teaspoon of curry powder. And then in here I have 2 tablespoons of soy sauce and 2 tablespoons of finely chopped garlic. And that's it basically, with the exception of your rice, which you can bring that over here. Okay, we're going to put in turmeric and curry powder in the rice. Joe's going to get that stirred up real good. And we'll be back in just a few minutes as soon as these onions sweat down. Now that the onions are sweat down nicely, we're going to add our chicken with the ginger powder, and I also put some cracked pepper on top too. Get that in there, and my golly, that is 2 boneless chicken breasts. I was going to use this, but okay. Now we're just going to cook this down a little bit. Now once I get the chicken cooked, I'm going to add the rest of the goodies. So we will be back once the chicken is cooked. Okay, the chicken is still a little bit pink, but I'm going to put in our quartered plums and our soy sauce with the chopped garlic. Get that stirred in good. Now supposedly the plums are going to pretty much melt in, is kind of my understanding, once they cook down a little bit. So now I'm going to let this simmer for a little bit, and then I'll be back, and we'll be putting the red cabbage and the little bits of cauliflower in there. Let that cook for a few, and that'll be done. Okay, we've been cooking for a little bit, and it's looking pretty good. So now we are going to add our cabbage. I'm just using the bag stuff this time. And our cauliflower. Let's stick that in there. Get that stirred in a little. And once this cooks down just a little bit more, this will be done. I didn't have to add any more liquid to it or anything. It did say in the recipe if you need to add extra soy sauce. I prefer not to, because we're trying to do a low sodium type diet. And this is in no means keto, because we're actually doing rice with this. We only cook 1 cup of rice in 2 cups of water. So you actually double your rice so that there's enough rice for a cup apiece. But I think we're going to just mix everything together. I think when we're done, it'll make it a lot easier, and then it'll be good on leftovers, because I'm sure there's going to be leftovers. Alright, we'll be back when it's all done. And the reason why we put the spices that I told you about for the rice is because Joe doesn't like white rice. He totally despises it, but ever since I started putting those spices in the rice, he absolutely loves it. So we're good to go. Alright, we'll be right back. Alright guys, this is it. It's okay. I tried it. It's not bad. But it's not exactly one of my favorite things, I guess. This was just something new, something different to try. And I wasn't sure about the plums because I've never been a fan of plums. But honestly, I think it just gives it a slight sweetness. You're supposed to put a couple tablespoons of sugar in the recipe too. But honestly, I don't think I've ever even heard of this sugar. I think it was called castor sugar or something. I don't know. I don't do sugar. We try not to anyways, because we're both diabetic. So, yeah, this is not a keto recipe. It would be if we didn't do the rice, I think. Yeah. It's just, you know, we don't do rice that often. We don't do macaroni hardly at all, but okay. And we try not to do potatoes. Anything starchy and all that, you know. So everybody, I hope you're having a wonderful evening, and give it a try if it sounds like something you'd like to try. Take care.